Hello everyone and welcome to Hill Street. Today's story is The Man Upstairs by Excuse Me Fokin Watt. If you end up enjoying this story, please leave a like. And if you enjoy hearing stories from me, please subscribe and become a resident of Hill Street and let me know how I'm doing in the comments. Now, let's get to this nightmare. Okay. Despite the creepy title, this one's actually not that scary. See, ever since my parents bought our house, every now and then, strange things would happen. We'd joke about it, saying it was a ghost, but none of us actually believed that. Our house was new, and we were, and are, its first owners. We're the first to fill the house with soul, so to speak, and personality. So when the strange things would happen, a cup fell over on the counter, things shifted suddenly, creaking, scratching noises from the roof. Someone would say that it was a ghost for fun, and no one would believe it. Side note, the women of my family love horror movies and the genre in general. The men prefer action and rom-coms. I myself love action and horror. Every time we mentioned the ghost, the guys of the house would make those dismissive noises, grunts to reassure themselves that it was all nonsense, and they were justified since, as I mentioned, we were the house's first occupants. So one day, after my sister heard a noise in the ceiling of her room, I started attributing such things to what I call the man upstairs. It quickly caught on. My mom was especially fond of the expression. We were not a strict religious household by any means. Hell, we mostly just observed the holidays for the delicious food. But over the years we had collected and displayed enough religious paraphernalia to give the impression that we were. I had intended for the phrase to reference how we were actually Hindu, God's just one of us, and all that, and also to joke that it was more likely that there was just a guy in our attic that no one knew about, rather than an actual ghost. I thought I was giving the house its own little spirit, and having such an auspicious being entity to blame for all the strangeness in the house was both hilarious and comforting. It was funny when the house would shift for no reason. It was funny when the cups would fall to the floor while no one was in the kitchen, when the walls would thud while no one but I was home, when half the water from a full cup would disappear at random. Funny. It was just the man upstairs, having some fun and settling in for the day. That silent, ever-present man upstairs. But one night, he spoke. And that was the night I stopped laughing. It was the first and last time I ever heard the voice, that high, girlish, breathy voice, from the impenetrable black pall of my sister's room. My room is directly adjacent to hers, and I had come upstairs to get a blanket for movie night. On my way back, my arms full of the purple comforter, I passed her room. "Hello," said my sister from the darkness of her room. I stopped and squinted over the blanket, trying to find her silhouette. For lack of better words, I could sense an unmistakable presence in there, but it was just as impossible to see where. Giving up, I responded, "Hi." I turned and started for the stairs again. I hadn't even taken a step when she spoke again. Softer, more hurried, like her breath was catching in her throat, yet with the exact same intonation. "Hello." I stopped, furrowed my brows, and chuckled unclearly. "Hi." I could tell she was closer, but my eyes still wouldn't adjust. I kicked myself for not turning the hall lights on. This little prank was 10 times creepier when I couldn't discern a single thing in front of me. She could have been anywhere in there, and I wouldn't know, because despite the singular light from the shrine outside my room, casting twisting shadows over the hallway carpet from the banister, somehow, not a single ray could pierce the all-encompassing night that had taken residence in my sister's room. I continued on, past the windows, past my brother's room, the game room, the master bedroom, my room, my sister, all the way to the stairs. Wait! I stopped at the top of the stairs, frozen, my heart pounding in my ears, and every hair standing on end. It took me a solid 10 seconds of internal screaming to get my feet to budge, and relief flooded me as I turned and saw my sister talking with my mom outside the game room. I walked over and asked her what was from her point of view an annoying, obvious question. "Did you just come from downstairs?" "Yeah." She looked at me strangely, most likely worried. My common sense was leaving me. "Then who?" I started, but stopped myself. There was no point in scaring her, I thought, but it was too late. She was a stubborn girl who had to know everything. Who what? She asked expectantly. She hated not knowing something, no matter how trivial the information, and she especially hated it when someone said what I said next. Never mind, she gave me that look I knew all too well. That "I'm going to be pissy with you until you tell me" look. I sighed and told her I could have sworn you were in your room. "What?" Her eyes widened, and I could tell she was creeped out. "Why?" "I just thought. I heard you in there, moving around. We were used to things moving, shifting." "Oh." She relaxed, scoffed at me. "Don't scare me like that. It's not funny. I have to sleep in there." "You asked." I clenched my teeth, my heart racing again. Do I tell her? Do I not? Do I tell her? Do I? She walked away before I could make a decision. I followed. She paused outside her room, and with a cautious hand, reached in and pressed the switch just inside, flooding the room with white light. The empty room. I let go of a breath I hadn't realized I'd been holding. Whatever was in there wasn't anymore. And I later blame it on the inscrutable man upstairs. I never did tell her what actually happened that night, and I probably never will. To be frank, looking back at it now, I never felt any danger during the brief exchange, but that didn't mean I wasn't afraid. After all, I'm only human, and whatever spoke to me from my sister's room that night maybe wasn't